look at more like I thought, and a lot of other people, funny enough, I saw online, automatically it harkened back to this fucking story. The Central Park Karen that called the cops on the bird watcher. Bird watcher, yeah, sure. Is that what they're calling women now? Birds? Where she called the police because this guy by the name of Christian Cooper, which oddly enough, her last name was the same, Amy Cooper. No relation. Maybe there was some ownership at one point. Maybe that's where the relationship goes, or the relation goes. Anyway, basically this guy was interviewed on the news and heralded as some kind of fucking hero and blah blah blah, and the woman was completely villainized as a Karen because she called the police on this guy after he was threatening her in the park. Turned out later that this guy had a history of being really aggressive to women and using dog treats to lure their dogs away from them. He's just basically fucking creep. And I think the whole bird watching thing was just a cover story because he got caught being a goddamn creep. Or maybe he's just a bird. He is a bird watcher, and bird watchers are creeps. So yeah, basically it brought me back to that story right there. But then I started thinking of other stories like there was this one, the barbecue. This was fucking in 2018, where this woman called the police on a black family. I don't know if it was for trespassing, but she called. What it was that there was like sort of unclear rules when it came to the pool, and I noticed there's a lot of Karen incidents that happen when it comes to pools. If you notice, there's a lot of pool Karens. And I believe that's just because pools, especially public pools, are places that have more rules than most places, in America, really. There's a lot of rules when you're around a pool. And that's a lot of liability, safety reasons with public pools. So, reason I bring that up is because that's why I think there's a lot of pool incidents when it comes to these Karens, because they're basically just going like, hey, listen, there's fucking rules. We have rules for a reason. You need to follow them. And we know who doesn't like to follow rules. So I think the incidents come from sort of that. There's this attitude that come from black people for the most part that all rules are the white man's rules, and we don't follow. We're going to do everything that's not the rules. It's this rebellious kind of attitude because we can't do what the white man tells us to do. That's really where it stems from. It's really that simple. Anybody wants to argue with me on that, then go ahead. But that's kind of why I think these incidents happen. And usually, if you notice, a lot of these Karen situations, because they'll even take men that go off about the rules at a pool or wherever, and they'll call him a male Karen. So in reality, that's why I'm telling you, I think we need to actually support Karens. We need to appreciate Karens, because they're the people that we need in this world. We need people who give a shit about the rules. If we're all following the rules, then everybody has to follow the fucking rules. It is what the fuck it is. Otherwise, you just don't get to be there. I just don't understand why that's so hard. Why that's such a hard thing to do. Look, I get you got to live sometimes. Sometimes you got to break the rules, but then you also understand there's anytime I've ever broken rules, I've always accepted the consequences. So why can't we just accept that? I used to do dumb shit at the pools, at public pools. sort of like almost to get kicked out. And then when they kick you out, you just, all right, you go. I don't fight with them. Actually, I used to like laugh as I was getting kicked out because it's like, all right, that's what it was. I accept the consequence. That's all it is people that can't follow the rules. They want to be rebels. And then when they get called out for not following the rules, they can't accept their consequence. So, again, as an adult, I'm not a kid anymore. I have to respect somebody who respects that, who respects the rule of law, and who's not afraid to call somebody out for it. So shout out to all the Karens. I am pro Karen. Anybody has a problem with Karen has a problem with me. So, and again, this isn't because it's a racial thing. Make up all the racial terms you want for white people. I'm fine. I want some funny terms for white people. Maybe I'll start making them up. But at least be accurate. At least be fucking accurate with it. Or at least I don't want to say you have to be accurate. With something like that, because there's always let me pull up actually the meaning of Karen. Because just like Tariq Nasheed, this is where I'm talking about it. If you're trying to be funny, that's one thing, which I get. But that's where I heard with the right wing. The right wing kind of bought in to this Karen thing. Where I've noticed a lot of even media has used the term as a, haha, funny. But it's like, how can we get behind it as conservatives? How can we get behind it even in a joking way? Or like me, I just never found it funny. You can say what you want about it. I'm allowed to not find things funny if I don't want to. So what I'm saying is I don't like the term because in actuality, you're just kind of villainizing people who are doing the right thing. And really, it's coming from people who that really just like to beat down good people because they're not good people. They're not capable of doing anything good themselves. So, like, what happens, and this is what their goal is eventually the good people just start to not give a shit anymore. So Karens just go, all right, well, fuck it. And then the pools become fucking shitholes, and nobody wants to swim there anymore. But that's what happens is good people get beaten down where they stop giving a fuck and they become just as bad and just as useless as bad people. It's like, what's the point? It's just like the Good Samaritans thing they're trying to push where, a Good Samaritan will get villainized for stopping a shoplifter or, stopping a homeless man from being violent on a subway. And people just go, oh, why do you care? It's not your business. Just mind your business. And it's like, people understand there's a societal breakdown going on right now. And, there's a thing, broken windows policing actually worked where when you actually take care of the smaller things, or you make, for instance, the broken windows idea was that if there's broken windows, in a building or something, then people around it don't have as much respect for the area. So they, I'm wording this horribly, but basically it's like graffiti being on the walls. It makes people think, all right, this is an area that's not being policed. So when you clean up graffiti and you take care of the little shit, it kind of goes up, stems up. So it makes people realize, all right, people are watching this area. People give a fuck about this area. So we can't move the same way we would in a fucking ghetto where people don't give a shit about it. So, people are standing up against that. So, Karens are people, or women, I should say, who actually care enough to do something about something they see wrong being done. So again, I don't support the term Karen. And anytime I do, I'm gonna speak positively about Karens. All white queens need to be spoken up about and spoken so they get the power. Yeah. So Karens, keep doing your thing. I'll stand up for you. I'll stand up for you because a lot of men are bitches and they won't take the heat. I'll take the heat. I never had no problem taking any heat. I'm impenetrable to heat. In fact, I enjoy the heat. It's where I thrive.